Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living Communities of Greater Baltimore and Columbia. Today is November 1st. And this morning I'm reading from Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. And I opened it up to page 34, and it actually goes into 35. I'm reading the last paragraph on page 34 that continues on page 35. All external things are but the outer rim of inner thought activity. You can easily prove this for yourself. If you are in business, say running an ice cream stand or counter, and are not doing good business, look carefully into your own thought and see what you will find. You will find that it is an established belief there that business is not good. You are not feeling a sense of activity. You will not find within your thought any feeling of success. You are not expecting many customers. And I'm going to go ahead and read this second paragraph because I think this really encapsulates a lot of what happens for us all. Now, suppose someone comes along and says to you, "What is the matter? Why are you not doing more business?" This is about what the answer would be. People don't seem to want what I have to sell. Or perhaps someone like this, or perhaps something like this. I am too old to compete with modern methods, or even, well, times are hard. All this is negative thought. I hear these types of things daily. And if I'm being really transparent, I think these types of things at some point every day. It is a challenge to stay in alignment with spiritual truth when there's so much chaos in the world. It's easy to fall down the rabbit hole of ain't it awful? To point fingers, to blame one another, to blame one political party or the other, to blame one ideology or another, to blame one religion or another, to blame God, to blame Satan, to blame anything or anybody, rather than taking 100% responsibility for what is showing up in the world. And not responsibility from the standpoint of it's my fault, because that's the rabbit hole. If we're already thinking about whose fault it is, we're already in the rabbit hole. We may even have established an apartment in the rabbit hole where we just reside. It's time to move to something different. We teach oneness. We teach that there's one mind, that there's one life. And yet, when things get chaotic, we demonstrate a pattern of duality. And so, beloved, we get to practice that differently. Right now, here in the United States of America, our government is in a shutdown. And so I invite you to, instead of getting stuck in all of the negative rhetoric about that, to keep coming back to spiritual truth. That there's one life, one mind, one source, one substance expressing itself. And yes, it is expressing itself as our government, as every politician. And so we get to hold in consciousness The infinite intelligence that holds this whole universe together is operating in each and every one of them. And to see that shifting human thought, see that shifting human positions, see everyone operating in alignment with the spiritual truth of their own being. And we get to do that without defining it, right? Because I don't know how you're supposed to express. You don't know how I'm supposed to express. What we know, what we teach, is that there's one something that is everything, that starts as no thing, whose only desire is to express. And so what if we just keep returning to that over and over again? To pray without ceasing, that every business is successful, whether we agree with the business model or not. That every person is successful, that every person is fed, that every person is cared for, whatever it is. To see it extrapolated across all of creation. Planetary, cosmic, individualized, all of it. To see everything as successful. It's a challenge, and it requires us to deal with all of the paradigms where we separate ourselves, all of the paradigms where there's an us and a them. And we can do this. It's not a matter of whether we can, it's a matter of whether we will. And so I'm going to read these 2 paragraphs one more time and take us into our 5-minute meditation practice. And I invite you to just be present, to contemplate what is operating in your thoughts, and what are you willing to do, to be. Not even to do, what are you willing to be? So let's take this into our meditation. Here's the paragraphs. All external things are but the outer rim of inner thought activity. You can easily prove this for yourself. If you are in business, say running an ice cream stand or counter, and are not doing good business, look carefully into your own thought and see what you will find. You will find that it is an established belief there that business is not good. You are not feeling a sense of activity. You will not find within your thought any feeling of success. You are not expecting many customers. Now suppose someone comes along and says to you, "What's the matter? Why are you not doing more business?" This is about what the answer would be. People don't seem to want what I have to sell. Or perhaps something like this: I'm too old to compete with modern methods. Or even, well, times are hard. All this is negative thought. So let's take that into our time of meditation and contemplation. I joyously recognize there is one power everywhere present, one substance that is the very substance of all creation, seen and unseen. That is the infinite intelligence that holds everything together, that knows exactly what to manifest, when to manifest it, and how to manifest it. The perfect timing beyond the limitations of this 3D human realm, infinite intelligence that knows. Grateful to recognize this one substance, this one source. Grateful to recognize that it is one creation expressing in the multiplicity of forms, fully infusing every expression of itself with all that it is, with the creative process that it is, with the desire to express that is its desire, expanding itself. I am that in form. And what is true of me must be true of every form of creation. Must be true of everything that surrounds every form. Seen and unseen, known and unknown, visible and invisible. Infinite possibility. All life is that. And in the truth of one, in the reality of one, every expression of it must be inseparable from it and from each other. That this whole idea of other is simply an experience of physical form and never separates any expression from the other. And so I speak my word being the infinite, speaking itself into being through me as a portal, claiming and affirming a new awareness, a new sense and experience of infinite possibility that refuses to settle, that refuses to be trapped in these are hard times, that refuses to be distracted by chaos, that refuses to even entertain the idea of not enough. And in its place lives minute to minute into a greater realization of the affluence of abundance, the unrestricted flow of abundance. Abundance of food, abundance of shelter, abundance of clothing, abundance of kindness and compassion, abundance of money, an abundance of power with no necessity to have power over, an abundance of correct thinking in alignment with the spiritual principle and beingness of all life. I speak it into being. I claim it as so and refuse to entertain any notion of limitation. Because I recognize that the law, the aspect within this creative process, the actor, simply receives and makes it so. Simply acts upon every idea and every desire of creation to create, to express. And without filter, without hesitation, makes it so. And so I know that the word spoken this morning is already fulfilled. It is done. And so knowing it's done, reminding myself it is done, I let go of every limiting thought that comes up that says it's not done. I recognize them as the lie they are, and I instantly release them, neutralizing them by reminding myself of the truth. So in this letting go, I demonstrate my faith and my belief by looking for the evidence of what is complete. I look for the evidence of abundance. I look for the evidence of clarity. I look for the evidence of cooperation. I look for the evidence of life expressing beyond my human imagination. And there I find it. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.